We're traveling down Highway 90, the road most traveled, the strip of blacktop that knits together the music and culture from Houston to Jacksonville. I'm Kip Lornell of George Washington University, and this time we're stopping in Tallahassee, Florida, to talk about choral music.
We shall not sleep, O puppy snow. In Flanders fields, we shall not sleep. Sweet chariot, coming forth and carrying me home.
The black choral tradition really does go back to slavery times. Prior to the Civil War, you would find black choral singing occurring in churches throughout the South and in certain areas of the North as well. But after the Civil War, during Reconstruction, blacks who wanted education were finally able to get together and form institutions of higher education across the South, what are now known as historically black colleges and universities. And at these colleges, one of the things that represented these institutions were more formalized choral ensembles that sang spirituals.
I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming forth and carrying me home.
The music you're listening to right now is performed by the Fisk Jubilee Singers. The term Jubilee refers to freedom, and it refers to the ability to go out and do things that blacks didn't have when they were enslaved. These choral ensembles were developed in institutions of higher learning all across the South, but the first one was at Fisk University, located in Nashville, Tennessee. The Fisk Jubilee Singers went out on tour for two major purposes. The first was to raise money for a very financially distressed institution. They needed money just to exist. The second was to present black choral singing in such a way that white people, most of whom had never heard black choral singing like this, could appreciate the fact that blacks were not just uneducated and unable to do anything but sing older spirituals and work songs, but in fact had created a bold body of important works.
Oh, walk together, children.
Don't you get weary.
Walk together, children.
Don't you get weary.
Walk together, children.
Don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land.
Oh, sing together, children.
Don't you get weary.
Choral music served a social purpose well into the 20th century, and in fact it's something that's been in the black community since the 1870s. It's never really stopped. And well into the 20th century, in fact into the 21st century, there's a continuum between the spirituals sung in the 1840s and 1850s and these more modern groups that in the 21st century really reach back into slavery times for the repertoire.
I'm gonna break right past that shop. I'm gonna break right past that shop.
The music is the hook that we use to get them in the choir, but staying out of trouble and doing positive work is what the program is all about. My name is Earl Lee. I am the executive director of the Boys Choir of Tallahassee, Tallahassee, Florida. The Boys Choir of Tallahassee's mission is to teach good values, to teach academic excellence. That's what it's really all about. The music is just a tool we use to get the guys in, and once we have structured their life and give them some discipline, then they tend to soar academically and musically.
And I will hear those soft dew tread above me, and on my grave will warmer, sweeter be.
85% of the boys come from single-parent homes. We have a lot of boys whose mother is deceased and they've never seen their father before. But we teach them that even though they are going through those things, we all come together just to help each other in any way we can. Being in the boys choir of Tallahassee is very, very challenging. I have some kids that are on their high school football teams, and they come in and say, "This is football is nothing compared to this," because you really have to use your brain a lot. For example, there's one piece that we do to Randall Thompson's Gloria. It's 28 pages of Latin. Most choirs would not try to sing that without the music in front of them, but we do all of our music from memory. So it's 3 hours and a half of study hall and then 2 hours and a half of music rehearsal every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then there's performances on the weekend. So we're teaching values. We teach the boys to work together because we go to competition every year, and for 10 years straight, we've never lost. We want the audiences to know that even though we are a predominantly African-American boys choir, we sing many different styles of music, and that we were stereotyped in reference to the style of music that we sing. A lot of people, and myself particularly, I want to show that that's not the way it really is. You know, we go a lot of places, and mostly predominantly white churches and venues, and boy, they accept our music, our different styles of music. They appreciate how the boys can sing the classical, and they sing Latin, and we sing French, and this is what the black community is about, you know. So it's just a matter of educating and breaking down those walls of stereotyping. It's almost like, okay, well, if you're black, you can dance. What's resonating within the young men in terms of spirituals and gospel music is that it's soul-searching. When you talk about sooner we'll be done with the troubles of the world, going home to live with God, you know, a lot of kids have been through pain where they've buried their mothers, and they sit in communities where they know that one day it's gonna be a better day. We had 1, 2, 3 brothers that just buried their mother 2 months ago, and it was just so sad to see those little boys close the casket on their mother. And so they've been through the trials and tribulations at a very early age, and that's why they are able to relate to those spirituals and the gospel songs.
I want to meet my mother. I want to meet my mother. I want to meet my mother. I'm going to live with God.
After me ain't no grave, can hold my body down. There ain't no grave, can hold my body down.
You're listening to the Fifth Jubilee Singers as they sound in the 21st century, and along with the Tallahassee Boys Choir and colleges in Washington, D.C., for example, Howard University, and just a little bit further north at Morgan State University, large choirs and choruses are still an important part of music departments, and they still represent for the colleges around the country.
Ain't no grave, my body.
Thanks for listening. I'm Kip Lornell of George Washington University for Arts Edge, a program of the Educational Department of the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts.